There seems to be nowhere to hide from the sun in this seemingly barren landscape. While it is hot and absolutely dry, a closer look reveals plants and animals who have figured out how to make this place their home. But how do they do it? Let's find out together in this episode all about the North American deserts. A biome is a region defined by a specific climate and the plants and animals that have adapted to live there. The desert biomes are found here, at the bottom right of our biome pyramid, made up of regions so dry that the vegetation is sparse or almost absent. Deserts are areas of land that receive less than 10 inches of rainfall each year. These diverse ecosystems are found on all 7 continents and make up approximately 1/3 of Earth's total landmass, making it the largest biome in terms of land area. The 4 main types of desert classifications are hot and dry deserts, semi-arid deserts, coastal deserts, and cold deserts. In the western half of the United States, there is an extensive Great Basin, cold desert of Nevada and Utah. Then farther south are 3 hot and dry deserts, the Mojave, Sonoran, and this desert, the Chihuahuan. Here is where we'll spend our time. The Chihuahuan Desert is mainly a rain shadow desert due to the 2 main mountain ranges on either side. Because of this little pocket that is created, the Chihuahuan Desert is rich in rare plants and animals, unique biological communities, and specialized habitats. This area is considered the most diverse desert in the Western Hemisphere and one of the most diverse arid regions in the world. The Chihuahuan Desert ecoregion covers nearly 250,000 square miles, making it the largest desert in North America. Broad desert valleys, or basins, are bordered by mesas and mountains. This allows playas to form when rainwater drains down into these closed basins. Typically lacking cloud cover, deserts have dramatic temperature shifts from day to night and high winds. These environmental conditions shape the landscape through a process called weathering. Weathering is the process of breaking down rocks and minerals at the Earth's surface. In desert climates, this happens at a much slower rate because of the lack of water. However, when precipitation does occur, mechanical weathering in the form of flash flooding can wash away gravel and sediment and even dislodge large rocks and boulders. The extreme temperature changes stress rock, eventually breaking it up, depositing rock crumbs known as scree. Wind is common in desert regions due to convection. There's wind. It's windy here. Air near the Earth's surface is heated by the sun and rises. Then cooler air replaces it, resulting in winds. These winds have the ability to break down, transport, and deposit sediment. Think of the wind as sandpaper, wearing away at exposed surfaces, then carrying away what is removed. The lack of substantial vegetation also doesn't help. Not a lot of roots means that there's not much to hold this sediment in place. It doesn't seem like a big deal until you stumble upon an enormous sand dune and realize all this sand had to come from somewhere. The extreme lack of moisture in this environment means that the plant friends need to get creative in order to survive, and they've done just that. Deserts contain some of the most strange and interesting forms of plant life. Desert plants have a range of adaptations, allowing them to live in these dry conditions. An adaptation is a heritable trait that has evolved through a process of natural selection. These traits can be behavioral or physiological and develop to help the organism survive and reproduce. The adaptations that allow desert plants to deal with drought are numerous, but all focus on retaining as much moisture as possible. This moisture is lost through leaves, in particular through stomata. Stomata, or the breathing holes in leaves, exchange carbon dioxide for oxygen. Leaves are like solar panels for plants, turning light energy into food. Most plants have large leaves, allowing them to capture as much sunlight as possible. But when there is an overabundance of sunlight, plants have adapted to have small leaves, or no traditional leaves at all. Cactus have stomata on their surface, or skin. These plants have adapted to only open their stomata at night, allowing much less of the plant's stored moisture to be lost. The downside to this delayed method of photosynthesis is that cacti species generally grow very slowly. Other plants are adapted to store as much water as possible within the plant tissue. This is a defining characteristic of plants called succulents. Succulents have chunky, fleshy stems and leaves. All cacti are succulents, but not all succulents are cacti. In order to capture as much rain as possible, cacti have broad, shallow root systems. These roots rapidly absorb large quantities of water during brief rains before the sandy soil drains it all the way. As you can see, cacti have traded in their leaves for spines. These modified leaf structures help protect the plant from hungry herbivores. Sometimes you have to trade in your luscious leaves for grumpy spikes to protect the precious water hidden inside of your flesh. I get it. No. If you're still here liking this video, let us know and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Limited amount of producers or vegetation leads to limited amounts of wildlife or consumers. Animals living in the desert have also adapted ways to help them use less water and to stay cool. Water is the currency for survival, and it's in short supply. Animals need water for all biological functions, and water is the body's primary coolant. Animals have to balance a water budget, if you will, to survive. Two sources of water income are standing water, like drinking from a watering hole, water from food, like fruit from a prickly pear cactus. The list of water expenses is longer: producing eggs or milk for offspring, excretion of body wastes, and evaporative cooling. So just living and breathing, basically. It's rough out here. Hot and dry. Animals who have adapted to manage this tipping scale survive, being active only at night, hanging out in burrows underground, and using heat transfer to their advantage are just a few ways that desert animals beat the heat. Many desert animals are nocturnal, coming out to hunt only at night, when temperatures are much cooler and the environment isn't quite as dry. Nocturnal desert animals include the mountain lion, kit fox, bobcat, coyote, and multiple species of bats. Scorpions are nocturnal hunters that search in the dark for other arthropods and small lizards. In the fall, tarantulas roam the night looking for mates. The rest of the year, tarantulas primarily stick to the shelter of their burrows. The cutest of all nocturnal animals calling the desert its home is the ringtail. A member of the raccoon family, the ringtail is strictly a nocturnal animal. They are excellent climbers and leapers, using their long banded tails for balance. Another heat avoidance strategy is to seek out a cool microclimate to hide from the sun. The temperature difference here in the desert can change dramatically from the sun out there to the shade right here. This means that microclimates can be found in areas like the shaded side of a cactus or a crevice in the rock face. Some animals create their own microclimates by digging burrows in the desert soil. Surface temperatures may vary more than 55 degrees from temperatures deep inside a burrow, making this a popular option. Mammals of all sizes choose a burrow for their desert home, including the kangaroo rat, the kit fox, and coyotes. The burrowing champion in this environment is the endangered Bolson tortoise. They are the largest and rarest of the 5 North American tortoise species. Using their powerful front legs, these tortoises dig extensive burrows, reaching lengths over 75 feet and depths greater than 6.5 feet. This burrow mansion, if you will, is where they will spend over 85% of their time. If they can't escape the heat, animals have figured out a way to cool their bodies to survive. Some more creative than others. After the jackrabbit has been active, body heat is exchanged with the surrounding air. Body heat is carried to the ears via blood flow. This blood travels through the vessels throughout the large surface area of the ears. It transfers that heat to the surrounding air. When a coyote pants, it moves air back and forth over the moist surfaces of the mouth, throat, and tongue. Once water is evaporated, these surfaces are cooled. Vultures use evaporative cooling in a creative way. A vulture urinates on its legs. If daytime temperatures are high enough, the urine will evaporate, cooling the legs and drawing more heat from the body. Great. Wonderful. Overgrazing, urbanization, water depletion, increased frequency of wildfires, invasive exotic species, and overcollecting of native plants and animals are the greatest threat to biodiversity in the ecoregion. Think back to the critically endangered Bolson tortoise. Scientists believe that habitat loss, or collection for food, or the pet trade, are responsible for the species' decline. Recent estimates suggest that fewer than 2,000 Bolson tortoises remain in the wild. But a tortoise named Gertie and some human friends are working to change that. You can learn more about Gertie in the link in the description. And if you want to learn more science, you can check out this video next. I got flies going crazy over here.